Okay, so we have our data here. Let me copy this. Can we see them?
Yes, boss.
All right. Sorry about this. Let me just quickly clean up this data so that we can work with this. So, as you all may know, if you actually went through I sent a link. I sent a link on the, okay. Yeah, I sent a link on the Slack channel. So if you went through that link, and I hope we all did, you will notice that, so that you won't be having issue of, oh, I can't find XLOOKUP, I can't find this, I can't find that. If you went through the link, you would see that XLOOKUP was introduced. Let me go and look for it so that. If somebody has it, they should just send it to the chat so that I won't be scrolling about that. I've seen it. This is it. Alright. Okay. So you can see that XLOOKUP was introduced in Excel 2021, meaning if you have anything below 2021, you will not be able to use this XLOOKUP. So, but for the case of this class, for the sake of this class, if your Excel does not have XLOOKUP, alternatively, you can practice, using Google Sheets, at least for now, till this is sorted out. You can practice using Google Sheets till you sort that out. So the storyline for XLOOKUP was introduced to replace VLOOKUP. That was that is the main reason why XLOOKUP exists. You can see it here. Let me open this for us to see. Let me open this for us to see. You can see it says the summary. The Excel XLOOKUP function is a modern and flexible replacement for older functions like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and LOOKUP. So it basically tells you that you can do what these things can previously do, and you can do it better. XLOOKUP supports approximate and exact matching, wildcard for partial matching, and lookup in vertical and horizontal. That's just, so basically XLOOKUP replaces VLOOKUP, and it makes things better for us. So without wasting much time, let's look at this. So this is XLOOKUP equals to XLOOKUP. So now, remember in VLOOKUP, we need about 4 criteria, for this in VLOOKUP to be able to get whatever we are looking for. But you will also remember that there were cases where we needed to wrap our VLOOKUP in an if error function itself. We need to wrap VLOOKUP into if error so that when our VLOOKUP displays an error, the if error would help us, manage that error and display whatever we've specified for it to show us. We can see from the get-go that XLOOKUP immediately takes account of that. So it says if not found. So if we don't find what we are looking for, it has also given us that function for us to automatically just put that instead of doing if error again. So how does XLOOKUP work? Our lookup value is the first thing, just like VLOOKUP. Then our lookup array. This lookup array is, I like to look at it also like, when we were doing our if and ifs, we used to have criteria range and criteria. So criteria range meaning the bucket that contains one of the items we are looking for. So let's say, let me come to my data. So buckets can be referred to as this distributor ID, for example, and the individual ID can be referred to as an item in the bucket. If you guys understand that, so equals to XLOOKUP. So our lookup value, it would be one of the distributor ID, and our lookup array would be the distributor ID itself as a O. Then the next criteria that is needed is now what you want to return. In this case, we want to return name. So we would also be selecting the distributor name as a whole so that it will bring out the corresponding value for the distributor ID. Let me go over that again so that I would explain this time, using example or going over the documents, bringing out the name as the case may be. So equals to XLOOKUP. So our lookup value is this distributor ID. When I click on that, it shows me, okay, it is in B9, then comma. My lookup array is my distributor ID, as this case may be. Why is it distributor ID? Because I am looking up distributor ID, and I know each individual ID is under distributor ID. That is why my lookup array is going to be distributor ID here. When I select that, it shows me that, okay, I am selecting column AA all the way down, column A all the way down, meaning anything in column A is my lookup array. Then I say comma. So comma will take me to the next thing. What do I want to return if it has looked at this column A? What should be returned? What I want to return is the name. I click on that. So for this case, I would just go on. I'll close the bracket. I don't need to this other function. So these ones are not compulsory. That is why they are in. Let me move these things. All right. So these ones are in brackets, or they are in what is this? What is this one called now?
Square brackets. Square brackets.
Yes, this one are in square brackets. They means they are not compulsory, meaning you can go on with your formula without including them. Nothing will happen. There won't be error or anything. But these first three are compulsory. You need to impute them. If not, your XLOOKUP is not complete. So, but in our case, I want to move on. I'll just close the bracket and click enter. and that is that. You can see we've imputed next criteria compared to VLOOKUP. Let's do VLOOKUP and see. VLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, I'm looking up this, then table array, I'm selecting this, comma, 2, okay, there's an error, sorry. VLOOKUP, looking up this, comma, my data is in this, then comma 2, comma, false, and I'm closing the brackets. Now, in this case, I've gone through 4 different criteria, and yeah, I've only gone through 2, which is even faster. This one, I don't have to be counting how far the column is to the right, or what is the position of the column to the right. I don't have to be doing all those counting. All I have to do is just select where I want to look up and what I want to return. I don't have to be selecting, oh, I want to return, for example, let's say I want to return product code in VLOOKUP. I'll be counting 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have to count in XLOOKUP. I just select whatever I want to look up, or whatever I want to return, sorry. That is the beauty of XLOOKUP. So if I drag this down, just like we've been doing, to select the next one for us, you can see it has selected this, and we get the name. If I do the same for VLOOKUP as well, we get the same answer as well. So that is just a brief explanation of XLOOKUP. It is very simple. The people that created it, they had the fear of God in mind, to say, let's make this thing easy. Don't make us stress these people. So I want to go on to the part that has error. Where is the beginning? All right. So now you can see that here it was telling us that next VLOOKUP with if error and put the name associated. Now, if you remember, you would know that these two codes, these 30,000 and 40,000, we don't have them in our data. This 30,000 and 40,000, we do not have them in distributor ID. Meaning, when we look it up, it should return. Hey, Jesus. When we look, who's this? Okay. All right. So in this case, instead of doing nested VLOOKUP or nested XLOOKUP, sorry, we can just specify what we want our error should be if it is not included, in the data. So let's just try that. So XLOOKUP equals to XLOOKUP. In our lookup value, we are looking up this comma, our lookup array, distributor ID, comma, we are returning country, comma. Now we are back here. So it's saying if not found, what should we return? Let me put 0. Let me put 0, for example. Then I close the brackets. So if I drag this down, let me drag this down. I hope we all understand why I'm dragging down. Yes. All right. So you can see that if not found, it returns 0. If not found, it returns 0, which is what I have indicated here. If not found, let's say I want to return something else. Let me say none. And do we also understand why this none is in quote as well? I hope you all understand that too. All right, perfect. So that is, you can see that XLOOKUP saves us from the stress of, making our functions or our formula, making it complex. It eradicates that. First, XLOOKUP value array, no, no, close brackets, and this is perfect. Which equals 86. Hold on, guys. Let me pick the score. Hello, sir. All right, sorry about that. Can we all hear me?
Yes, boss,
Can
we
we all
can.
hear me? All right, thank you. Sorry about that. I had to quickly pick my father's call for that. All right, so look up. I don't know why Aderoba is laughing. I agree with Glory. They should arrest you. Should be arrested immediately. Top value. Look up array. Look up array. Then okay, what are we done? Okay, revenue. No funds. No funds. Let me put no funds. And drag this down. All right. So for those of us asking about the XLOOKUP, I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear. If it is not clear, let me know. Because today I will give assignment on this XLOOKUP. Because I've taken my time to explain it, I will give assignment on it. All right.
Assignment to
Okay. So who clear? All right. Nobody's confused.
Boss, I want to ask a question.
Sorry,
All
Mr.
right.
Kiki,
Go on.
So
Please one by one.
did
for
for revenue.
One by one, please. Let Aderoba finish, then you can go on Uzoma.
boss, I want to ask, yeah. So VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP. I want to ask, is XLOOKUP the updated version of VLOOKUP? Or
Mr.
that's just
Arebo,
my question.
Mr. Arebo, you are not following me also. It seems you are not following us. Yes, XLOOKUP is the
Exactly. He's
updated.
not.
I'm following Glory. Waiting with
XLOOKUP
this.
is the XLOOKUP is the updated version of. Because if you were following, you would see that I explained this at the beginning that XLOOKUP function is a modern and flexible replacement for older functions like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and LOOKUP. You get it now.
Yes, I get. But
Yes.
my problem is
XLOOKUP.
like, okay,
Okay. Go on. Go on.
like if we are going to end up having the same result using VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP, if I concentrate my attention on one, there's no, I don't think there's any point for me to like really focus on the other.
There's no point, but when you are working, you want to be as effective as possible, and you want to use the fastest means possible to get whatever you want. VLOOKUP, like I explained, VLOOKUP takes more process to complete compared to, you can be saying that one extra step in VLOOKUP is not much, but it is much. It is a lot. And when you can complete your work in 4 seconds than completing it in 6 seconds, I would always go for the 4 seconds. So that is it. So Uzoma, the answer so that we can move on.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Okiki. I just wanted to go through it and go to the revenue part. I didn't see what you did there. The network was bad.
All right, let me just go through it again. Please mute.
Okay.
Let me go through it one more time. All right, let's use this one. Please mute, oh, please mute. Who's that person? Deborah. All right. So I would explain again one last time using name and revenue. So the first thing we want to do is obviously type in our XLOOKUP. Our lookup value, this is what we are looking up. Then I say, okay, oh, comma to the next thing, meaning I want to move on to the next criteria in my function. The next thing is I am looking up my lookup array. So my lookup array, like I explained in the beginning, each ID is an item in a bucket. So look, you can always look at your array as a bucket. That, let's say you have a bucket that has 20 balls of different colors. Each ID is an individual ball in the bucket. So the lookup array is the bucket as a whole. So we are selecting the bucket as a whole so that you can find the one ID we've indicated. I hope that is clear. Then the return array, what I want to return is name. Then the next thing, so if any of these things is not found, what should it display? It should display, I don't want it to display anything. That is why I have done this. I have created an empty string or an empty text string. Then I close my brackets, I click on enter. And when I drag this down, I asked us if you understand why I am dragging this down. I'm going to get a empty cell here. Because why am I getting an empty cell? Because I have specified I want an empty text here. Remember, if I wanted text, I would have typed what I wanted into this code. If it's no name, for example, or as the case may be. Then for revenue, like you asked, so XLOOKUP, just like we've been doing, XLOOKUP, my lookup value, then I also go and pick my lookup array. Then what I am returning is revenue. Sorry. My lookup array, comma, my return array, then comma, if not found, no funds. No funds. Close brackets. If I drag this down, I should get no funds here. That is that. Is that clear? Uzoma.
Yes, yes, sir, it's very clear now. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So for those of us that are going to pray, I think he said you'll be leaving by 8. So that's why I quickly did the XLOOKUP before 8 o'clock so that at least we won't miss much. Because after this, I don't think we are doing much anymore. Me, I'm tired of Excel already. I want to move on to the next thing. So if you have anything in Excel, you have handed over. Motsuaya Motsuaya is more than capable to take you guys. And by the way, for those of you that submitted the assignment, it's full mark because I'm not ready to go through that marking of assignments again. I think I do small dashboards for it. Now you go tell me wetin I go do. Oluyemi. Eh? Okay, let me just do brief explanation on on pivots. As you all can see, you can see that my boss she has done justice to pivot table, even taking you guys through Power Query and all and and whatnot. So me, I know they really they stress like that. If they don't already do na good. So I have a question for somebody if you can clarify it. So is it possible that because somebody reached out to me that had a very unique issue where see this 123 in front of distributor ID was not included. We couldn't find it. This ABC, this for example, yes, this data types was not in the Power Query. Can anybody explain why? Do we have anybody that can explain why that is? Let me call somebody's name. Mr. Chukura, do you have an idea why? Can it be a situation of the Excel itself not being activated, something like that?
Please, your question is not clear. Please come again, sir.
Okay. Look at this Power Query that I am looking at. This Power Query data that I am looking at. So I have a Power Query that's in an Excel that didn't include, see all this sales channel, this APC here, where I can select the data type I want. You can see the way I've clicked on that and it brought out all these functions for me. The Power Query does not include all this. Even in my view, this data preview, for example, is not present. Is there a reason why? Do anyone has an answer to that question? Do we know a reason why it's not? Can it be a case of the Excel not being activated, or it's the Excel um or it's the Excel year itself, something like that? Can anybody answer that? Oluyemi, I should repeat the question again.
No, I heard you already.
Maybe
I heard you. But I feel like it could be the like from the settings or something.
I
Could
don't
be
think
from the
it's the setting
settings.
because okay, all right. Jason told me.
Okay, I'll say good evening everybody. I'll say Power
Good
Query does not
evening.
recognize all IDs. It recognizes some unique IDs from my own understanding.
So you said PowerPoint or Power Query.
I said Power Query
Okay, does not understand.
does not really recognize all IDs.
When you
So for
say
that particular
ID, what do
data,
you mean?
you're talking about the distribution IDs, right?
No. My question is not even based on
Oh,
this data.
okay. I didn't
It's
get
not
it.
based on this data. It's based on Power Query itself.
Okay.
Okay, can I say something?
Yeah. Yeah. It.
Yes,
Can I say
please.
something?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Don't worry.
I think
Who is
that
that?
where Power Query does not support
Okay,
text formatting.
is that from your background?
Answer the question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So let's wait and see. We are
Okay,
hoping
I
that
can hear you.
we'll be able to.
okay.
Because
I'm saying that
the
Power
process
Query
that I
does
did
not
last
support text
today,
formatting.
I guess around July.
Power Query basically focus on data transformation and actually does not retain Excel specific formatting. So where those data are uploaded and is coming in form of text formatting, it will not recognize it. I don't know if that suffices.
I don't think you don't get my question. My question is, so look at this data preview, for example. This data preview that I have up here that has monospaced, column quality, column profile, column distribution, for example. This particular Power Query does not even have this data preview. Like some things that are supposed to be included are not included. For example, this where is it again? This where is that part? There was one part that I was looking at yesterday. So like it looks like the Power Query doesn't have the full function it was supposed to have. That's what I mean. Like it doesn't have the full function it was supposed to have. Yes, Uzoma.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Kiki. For me, I feel maybe it might be the version of the Excel. So, because even while I was doing my assignment, I noticed
Okay.
some things were not were different from what our tutor did. So I had to like figure out some things on my own. So I feel it might be the version of the Excel.
Okay.
I,
All
for
right.
me,
Thank you.
for me, I feel maybe if the Excel is not maybe registered, or like I just feel maybe it's not registered or it wasn't cracked well or something. That's my opinion.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I'll just explain a little bit of no, pivot table, not Power Query. Yeah. I'm sure Mutraya has, she has done justice to Power Query, but always make sure you rename your table. For example, don't leave it as the way this table is at table 1, for example. You should rename it. Let's say this is sales data. Always rename your table. Then did she explain uh did she explain how to undo? For example, now you can do a step in Power Query. All right, I think she has done that. No need for me to go over that then. So, like I said, my has done justice. My has done justice to. My has done justice to. Who do you want to put this data? My has done justice to it. All right. So what I did just now, if we go back, let me go back. If you go back now, you would see that I will not be able to select close and load to anymore. You can only do close and load to once or at the initial stage of using Power Query on that particular data. So once you come back, you will not be able to do close and load to anymore. So if I make any changes here, I can only do close and load, for example, and that is that. So we just build a very quick, pivot magic and just build a small dashboard. So, and there is plenty ways, to do this. You can come to Power Pivots and work on this, or you can just select your data itself and just insert pivot table. There's, let me share the data. You guys have it now. You have it. You have this data. Please, somebody should direct see chill. Hey, Jesus. Somebody should direct Njoku to where the data is. So we'll just build a simple dashboard from our data. Let me even look at this data. So what can we do? Digital ID, digital country, data codes, just channel. All right. So we'll try to cook something. All right. So like I explained, the first thing we want to look out for is values. What can we put in value? There are two things that can be in value. There's revenue, there's unit price. Why? These are numerical values that can be summed up. You can see this is the summation value. This E. Once you see E like this, just know that you can add it up. You can do any numerical calculation on it. So the first thing I want to do is bring in revenue. But what do I want to look at? I want to look at revenue by country. I want to look at which country, if they say, okay, these people sold to which country did they sell, or according to the data, is it their country of origin, or I think it's their country of origin. Let's say, okay, which country has the most I'm sure you answer the question. Okay, yeah, the reason, sorry, let me just quickly answer this. Why I asked that question was because yeah, somebody reached out to me amongst us that has this issue of missing full functionality. And to be honest, I looked at it for a long time and I didn't know what else to do. Yes, that is because I added that to the documents. It doesn't include it. I was the one that added it. I created a duplicate and I renamed it XLOOKUP. So yes, so that is why I was asking about the full functionality missing. If somebody understand why it was happening, that's my question. So let's just move on. Country, I'll bring country to roles. So this data, I don't like this data. It's too straightforward. Jesus. All right. So we just look at top 10. Let's look at top 10. Top 10. Honestly, need to do. Jesus Christ. So very nice. Oh God, I beg. Okay. Hmm. You didn't even know how to show top 10. Let me go back. Let me add a filter to this. Yes? What do you want to say? Who is that? Akim. Akim, what do you want to say?
Okay,
Revenue.
sorry, sir. For the top 10, I think I could recall as Miss Mosai told us, she told us order the sum, any number there, you right click on it, and then it shows the sorting. I will just go for sort time, and then we'll go for top 10 from the largest to the smallest. Then we'll come to the row label, and then we'll click on we right click on it also, and then we just choose top 10 also on that also.
Thank you, Jare. Yes, I don't need forget to. I don't even know this thing again. Um, oh, I don't use this thing talked about, and I don't like it about that much. So, hey, God, I beg. They say I should
Sir,
click on
click
the
on the
figure.
figure. Click on the figure. Yes.
Okay, okay. Ah, okay. Hmm. Can you imagine? So France has the highest. Hey, so France has the highest revenue, in this data set, 301. And I think France is just one, if I'm correct. It's just 301. That's why I don't like this data. It's just one. So now the foundation of you building dashboards is this. Once you have this, the next thing you want to do, what is this one? Okay, here. The next thing you want to do is you want to bring in a pivot chart, for example, and let's see map. Let's see if map will work. You can create this chart type with data inside a pivot table. Please select a different chart type or copy the data outside the pivot table. Okay, so we can do this. So let's say we just want to visualize this data. And you guys should understand that this is bad visualization. Don't ever use pie charts when your data point is more than 3. Once it is more than 3 like this, you don't overdo. It will not show you a good representation of what your data is. Or this is just bad data. So let's use a bar chart. Why am I feeling like this was the data that was used in this assignment? Is it the data that was used? Is it?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So this is sorted, from lowest to IS. Now, the first thing you want to do, building a dashboard, creating a new sheet. Let me name this as dashboard. View, come to view. Let me remove grid line, remove formula bar, remove heading. So I have a very clean and plain sheet. So I'll just Control C. For example, I'll Control C this and come to my dashboard and I paste this here. Now this is connected to this. Even when I delete this, for example, this is still connected to the data over here. Yeah, please select the current total. Okay. Why do you say that? Why do you say I should select current total? Control C did not work here. Are you okay, Glory? I've removed grand total. The issue with Control C didn't work. Control C didn't work. Even right clicking on the chart and what's this? Okay, so even right clicking on the chart and selecting copy didn't work. Is that what you are saying? Uh, Somebody should explain. I don't understand though. What are you people saying? What are you people saying? Ah, well, yeah, Excel. You have to look at your Excel very well. Oh. You have to forgive thing if you know. Look at it very, very well. Very, very well. Eh, what did I do? Sorry. All right. Okay, so moving on. Let me give this a different color. Let me fill it up. Let me fill this up. Let's get a huge text box. Where's text box? Text box, text box, text box, text box. Where's text box?
Go to your right.
Thank you.
Select
That's why
the
I like this
text.
class.
Yes.
That's why I like this class. Not be only me they did this class. Hmm. Then also when you include when you include slicer here, for example, let's say um, what is it again now? Field setting. No, sorry, that's what I'm going to. Where is it? This thing is blocking. All right. So if I add, let's say, let me add month sold here, and I select, you know, okay, this is all selected. Let's say I just select 1, 2, 4, for example. You can bring your slicer here, and you'd expect it to work as well. I can't remember how to control it. Hopefully it work. I don't think it will work. It won't work. Honestly, I've forgotten pivot though. I'll not even lie. Things like do this, like this. Like, what happens to our dashboard when I play that? Hmm, that's the thing. It's connected to your chart is connected to your primary. It's connected to your primary pivots. Yeah, it's connected to your primary pivot charts. Your primary pivot table, sorry. Okay. All right. Glory, please. Don't worry me, I beg. So, please, another thing. How for those of you that submitted assignment is because when Motorai was explaining the assignment she gave you guys, she said she asked you guys to submit a picture. I hope you guys submitted only picture. It's not like I will go and check now. I'll be seeing I'll be seeing one zip file. I know a lot of us. Okay, I'm already seeing reaction. All right. When you not
She
listen to
didn't
proper,
specify,
you know
Sam.
what she told me is that's what she told me. She said she told you guys that you now submit a screenshot. That is what she told me. So
So she didn't state that exactly. She just asked us to replicate what she did.
Wahala.
all
As
right.
in,
I'll I'll clarify that. I'll clarify that. Okay, okay, okay. All right, okay. Let me do one more. Let me add one more. Can we hear me? Oh, there is no noise from my hand. Is it perfect? All right. Yes, the data is not expensive. I beg. All right, so I want to input another data. Show you guys themselves. Okay, so sales channel. Let's look at sales channel. Revenue by sales channel. Revenue by sales channel. Oh, remember this one that I added the last time when I was trying to explain something. Okay, this is good. Let me leave it like that. At least I have more diversity in this data. Revenue by sales channel. So sets, charts, revenue by sales channel. All these tree map, these are what we look at when we get to when we get to Power BI. Let me just
Power
choose a
BI.
simple one. Yes. Already say she don't lost. So why you lost? Please find yourself. Oh. What happened? Dashboards. I get why she's lost now. This dashboard is not final, so don't go and say, my teacher created this dashboard. This dashboard is not final. Your Excel cannot have everything. Your Excel cannot have everything. Eh? Ah, add spices to what? Can't remember. I think I only in my life I've only done one Excel dashboard before. So pardon my okay, okay. I should add spices to that. Okay. Dashboard building no be beans o. Na work o. Okay, yes. Thank you, Jare. Make I clear the chat. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I don't like. See, when you do your own, do as you like. Ah, I am saying, do this, do this, do this. Is it possible today and not do dashboard? It's possible. It's possible. different,
Mr. Okike, I'm
different.
surprised though. I'm thinking it's like a normal part of being a data analyst.
No, no. No, it's not a normal. It depends on what. So, for example, now let me now shock you. In my role currently, we use Power BI, but I only use Power BI as a consumer. I don't I don't build that. I don't build Power BI dashboard. I don't build anything. All I do is go to Power BI, look for the data I'm looking for, and download from Power BI. That is my only interaction with Power BI. Obviously, the person building those Power BI dashboard now is also a data analyst, but that is their own role. Now, the data I get from Power BI is what I would use for my analysis and all. So it depends. Data analysis is different based on organization. It's based on what your organization requires from you. So what do I do with the downloaded data? Work work on I use the data for my analysis. Ah, they interview me. Oh. So okay, so for example, uh, so one of the reports that I have is I look at I look at sales records or sales data for each day. So Power BI has been connected to our CRM tool. So our CRM tool is what gathers the whole information. Okay, what was sold the previous day or what has been selling. For example, our stock level, revenue, blah blah blah. So which automatically updates on Power BI. I think every 3 hours. Power BI updates it every 3 hours. So one of the things I do is when I go in the morning, I go and download a section that I need. I download the section that I need, and yes, a report has been built already. So now I would answer this question based on a question I got in my DM. The question says, please, I need clarification on something. What is the essence of Power Query? Can't pivot table be created directly from the data set given? What is the unique thing that Power Query does? Thanks. Now, the unique thing Power Query does is that it has you have cleaned up. Let me show us an example. Let me come to my query. Let me post the question on the chat so that you can understand what I am saying. Let me post the question. Don't worry, I won't post your name. So they don't know you are the one that asked the question. All right, so this is the question. Now, the unique thing about Power Query is that let me just show us. Showing is so you can see this data here. We did not change much in our applied steps. So let's say I need one of the analysis I'm doing or part of the report I'm doing. I'm going to be using this date sold, but I do not want the time to show. I just want dates only. Now look at when I click on dates, it should add a new step. I'm adding a new step, and you can see that this is the new step that was added. I'm left with only my dates. I do not have the time with it anymore. All right, that. Then what other thing? So also what? Okay, let me see. Um, Where is this thing? There's this thing I'm looking for. Check it out. All right. So let's say you've done your cleaning. Let me just explain it in a basic way. So you've done your cleaning here. You've done your cleaning for sales data here. You've done it. Then you close and load. You close and load your data. Oh. Now, if you come tomorrow, let's say you come tomorrow and this data over here. Now you have to also keep in mind that this data here, this data that we have here is different from this sales data. Why do I say that? It's because is it different? Let me be sure before I go and say what I don't know. Let me copy this one. Just people are laughing. This thing you have to be careful, or else you just go and say what is not right. All right. So okay. So this data that I have here is not loaded into any of our sheets over here. So that's fine. So what I'm saying is now when I come tomorrow, for example, and this my data source, which is source table one. Okay, my source is table one actually. All right. So this is table one. If you all remember, this is table one. Table one, you can see the name here. Table one, this is the name. So this sales data is referencing this. Good. Now, when I come tomorrow, if I add to this data, let's copy this. Let's copy this data again and duplicate it. Let's copy this. Let's copy this and paste it under. And paste it under. All right. So you can see this has been pre-formatted to show duplicates. This is showing duplicate. That is why it is in this column. Now, based on what you can see that my data it says 107 rows loaded. 107 rows loaded. Now that 107 rows is stopping here. This is 107. This is not 108. Why it is 108 is because we have our header in the first row. So that is, but the data itself is 107. Now, if I click on this reload here, it will automatically reload this and capture the additional data that has been added to it. That is the essence of Power Query. Power Query now in your pivot table, yes, it might reflect in your pivot table, but to be on the safer side, it is better to do it on Power Query. Plus, Power Query will help you save all the changes you've made. I wish I had a perfect data to explain this. So if I reload this now, you can see that it has reflected to 214 rows. It has now captured it up to this point. It has captured our data up to this point. We now have 214 rows loaded. Let me go further. Let me explain further why Power Query is important, or why it is needed. Now, let's say in all of this, I don't want to see anything in Nigeria. No, let me see Nigeria, because Nigeria is our country. Let's say I don't want to see anything. Which country is always terrorizing Nigeria? Where is Ghana? I'm sorry if you are from Ghana here. There's no Ghana.
Ghana.
Let me put which other country? Which other country? Okay, let me remove France. Let me remove let me remove France. So I've removed France here. You can see it added a new step for us that okay, I filtered out a data. You can see also here country not including France. That is it here. Now when I close and load, you can see that from 214 it have moved to 212, meaning France has been removed from this data. Now if I do the same thing, I copy this data again and I paste it again. I copy and I paste. Let's say we have fresh data. Let's just say this is fresh data. Don't mind me. Let's say this is fresh data. You can see that we have France here. We have France here. We still have France. So meaning if you use pivot table, you would have to go and be manually removing France from your pivots. Let's say it was pivot table let's say it was from this data that we just control all and inserted pivot table. You'd have to go and manually remove France, but because we've done that in Power Query, we don't need to. So anytime we come and reload, France would have been automatically removed for us. We don't need to do anything again. That is one of the essence of Power Query. It helps you with the initial step, like your initial data cleaning has been done. Let me open a personal file for us. I think I have one here that I can use. That is I have desktop. Let me use this SOOR. Let me use this one. Okay. You can see how this data is. There's a lot of unclean thing. Let me see how long is it. Okay. There's a lot of unclean. Okay, this goes to this. Okay, this data is 13,000 rows. Now, imagine I just picked this data like this and I inserted it in pivot table. This is a mess on its own. This is a mess on its own. Let me just put this into Power Query. So I will now do my cleaning here. I'll remove whatever I don't want. I would leave whatever I want. So the first thing I want to do, some things I don't need, I'll remove it. Now, let's say I remove lot ID. I remove customer account number, for example. I leave customer name. I remove address. It's a better way to remove this thing. Let me just do it like this. Let me remove item ID, item name, sort. Let me leave quantity sale. I didn't click on control. I'm doing all that. So I hope you guys understand why Power Query is very important. Don't worry, when we get to Power BI, we would explain Power Query more. You can't even escape Power BI. Jesus. I didn't plug my laptop. It's going off. And there's lights. What is wrong with me? I know Glory will laugh. But I've plugged this now. Why is it in the chat? And nobody will say, yeah, your battery is low. Oh, this laptop is. They don't take my light. We have light. I have light.
I thought you weren't having
I have light. I just forgot to plug this laptop. Now the laptop has gone off. So while the laptop comes on, so I hope you guys get my explanation. I need to change the setting of this laptop. It needs to keep my works. Don't just go out giving me the money. So that's the beauty of Power Query. Don't underestimate it. So we've gotten to the end of today's class actually. I hope we've learned one or two things. If you have any questions, now is the best time to ask. Nobody has any question. Beautiful, beautiful. How do you fix pivot chart copy issue? Do I give you a Yoruba answer? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I think, don't mind me. Don't mind these guys that are laughing. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm not always like this. Okay. So the pivot chart copy is it. Are you with your laptop? Can you share your screen to us so that we can really quickly look at it? If you are with your laptop, if you are using your laptop, maybe you can quickly share your. What do you want? Can you after my life? So you are using your phone. So what do we do now? No question. And the only person that asks question, you are using your phone. Are we all good? We are all good. We can move on, right? All right. So I'm sorry for my did I say 5 million? Let me close this data. Before you people, let me close this data. Good. I've closed it. What I wanted to say something. Eh, okay. Oh, you saw it in the chat. Don't mind these people, Jared. They'll be sending work during the weekend. So am I supposed to answer that? I wanted to say that I've lost what I wanted to say. Yeah, no problem. You should. No, I'm not even tired. Today I'm not today I slept very well. Like I woke up exactly 7 p.m. I had to set my alarm to wake me up exactly 7 p.m. If you saw my face, if you saw my face when the call started, you will know that I literally just woke up. I had to set alarm to wake up by 7. So I'm not tired. I'm not tired. Any question you want to ask me, if I can answer it, I will answer it. So if there are no questions, since there are no questions, so please, I hope you've all downloaded Power BI to our laptop. This is how Power BI looks like. Power BI desktop. Yes. That. This one, I don't want to hear, oh, I don't have Power BI because it's the same thing. Oh, my Excel of Power BI, no, they work. Oh, my Power BI to doesn't work. Oh. We don't have that here. We don't have that here. Also, so the expecting assignments is like is every week now I'll be giving assignments now. Yes, I remember what I wanted to say. I'm sorry for I'm sorry for my earlier I'm sorry for my earlier outburst. I was pissed. That was why so if it's offensive to you, I'm sorry. No, no, no vex. But when assignment is given, let's try to keep the deadline. Let's try let's try to let's try to keep the deadline. If you have any issues, if you have any issues, you reach out. Don't wait till after deadline. Because I was still awake by 12 in the morning. I slept around 2 and I was seeing message. So I was like, these people that are sending message, is it that they were not around? They couldn't have sent their messages earlier so that at least we will be informed that, oh, okay, this social person is having social issues. Though. Please, if you don't have XLOOKUP on your Excel, all right, I'm not forgiving. Olayide Sally, I'm not forgiving. Okay, this is sharp Power BI. We'll look at this one later. You cannot escape Power Query here. Oh. Let me just say it. The alternative you can use is to come and use Google Sheets. That is the alternative. Oh. See Google Sheets here. XLOOKUP equals to XLOOKUP. Google Sheet doesn't discriminate. It is web based. So as long as you have data, it will work. All right, I think that is all from me. So if you do not have any other question, this class is ending in record time so that people will not say, you are not keeping to time. Oh, I will not hear that one this time. But if you have questions, you can ask. I'll try to answer. All right, Glory.
Okay, sir. Yesterday, while I was on my good evening, everyone. Sorry, while I was on my table, no, on the dashboard page or sheet, I mistakenly deleted or will I say cancel the pivot. Is it query or yeah? that function table on the pivot area. I don't know how
That's
to
in your
bring it
part.
back. Like I didn't know how to, on the
Is it your
table
power
part. Yeah. What?
is it your power pivot?
Yes, my power pivot. My power pivot table. Like that sheet where the table was analyzed, the analysis table.
Okay, all your measures.
Yes, I mistakenly deleted it on the process, but I didn't know how to bring it back. In as much as I
But
was done with that. But subsequently, how should I bring it back or go about it? I
how
was
did
done
you
with the
create
whole
it in the
table.
first place?
I created it using um inserting the power pivot table now, then doing the rest of the stuff. So that column just by the right hand side, I guess is right hand.
Can you share your screen?
Where you have no, I'm using my phone at the moment. Where you have, so can you go to your table? Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Alright, let me look for
The one you used just a few minutes ago.
this one.
Okay. Yeah, please click on one of the cells. No, no, not that. Like, yeah, no. Okay. So there's this chart that is supposed to come out at this right hand side, this other side that accompanies the table. Now, when you inside the table, inside the pivot table.
Okay, this one.
Yes. So I mistakenly deleted it. How do I bring it back? Like I Xed it. Yes. Like cancel. That's X there.
Okay, you
Pivot
cancelled it
table
like this.
field. Yes. So how do I bring it back? Because I tried bringing it back and it didn't come up.
Okay, so you click on now. So each pivot now. This is pivot table one. This is pivot table one, for example. This is a different pivot table itself. This is
Okay.
a different pivot table as well. You can see the name. The name is different. This is pivot table one, pivot table two.
Yeah.
So, but for you to bring it back, you just have to right click on it and click on show field list.
Okay.
Show field list. That is all.
Okay. Thank you very much. Because in as much as I was done with it, I thought of future references. If I have such in future, what do I do? Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, ma. Hello, Femi.
All right, thank you, sir. Um, so I just wanted to plead. Good evening. Thank you for the lesson tonight, sir. I just wanted to plead a little concerning the assignment. So I had this peculiar challenge. I use my office laptop actually, and the it does not have power pivots, so I had to find a way to um, get a new software and all that. So, but by the time I finished, so I was conscious of the time. I was conscious of the time because I noticed okay, it is 11.